Chapter 33. Your dream car vanished in thin air. It had been a while, but there they were again. The lights were back, except this time, Aniola hadn't even touched him. Before, when Shaoni had experienced the world of the thousand lights, as he called it, the wizard had always touched his hand first. But now, the wizard hadn't done anything at all. He wasn't even around. Shaoni felt very proud. "I will be a wizard yet," he thought. He looked around, kind of weary. Things weren't as clear as he remembered them to be from the previous times. The light entities had more of a human shape this time, as if they hadn't fully transformed into light yet. Or was this only because of the way Shaoni looked at them? Maybe his own vibrational frequency hadn't been high enough, now that the wizard wasn't present. Maybe he saw the Andalin, but still saw the physical as well, sort of at the same time. Yes, he realized, that is what it was. He was seeing both worlds at the same time. Shaoni looked around again. This was pretty weird, he felt. As he tried to understand the things he saw, he gradually started to recognize some of the entities around as being people he knew. He didn't see them as he normally did, though. They were sort of shaded, with no clear-cut edges as in the physical world. No, they were fading out, as it were. Although fading in maybe would be a better way of putting it, as they faded into the surroundings. Some of the people Shaoni saw even faded in with the entities standing next to them. Others did the same, but they blended with people who were at a distance. Distance didn't seem to matter much here. Whenever one of the people in the room would think about someone else, the blending sort of started, and the stronger they felt, the more the colors blended. It didn't really matter how far apart they were. No, in the world of the energies, these things didn't seem to matter. Shaoni quietly observed all of the people around. They were here, in the present, in the physical world. Yet at the same time, he saw them as you could only see them from within the world of the thousand lights. It was an incredible spectacle. Shaoni just couldn't stop watching. Every time somebody thought about someone else, Shaoni could see how the colors of that person changed, how his colors interfered with the other person, like a musical play of colors dancing. Other people came into Shaoni's range of vision, all of them thinking about something different. As Shaoni observed them, he saw how the colors started to shift with every single thought or feeling these people had. It didn't matter if these feelings were directed towards someone else or not. As soon as they had a feeling, or an idea, or just a thought even, the colors would start to shift, move around, dancing sometimes. In the corner of the room, Shaoni saw a woman who was thinking about having a baby. She didn't have the baby yet, but by the mere fact of thinking about the baby, wishing it, desiring it, the baby sort of materialized from the colors as an image in front of her. Shaoni could clearly see the baby. He could even see the love the woman felt for this baby, a love that emanated from within this woman. Another woman entered the room. She too had a baby, except this was a real baby. Shaoni observed how the two women were drawn to each other, almost as if a river of invisible energy was flowing between them, pulling them together. An intense feeling of love filled the entire room, an energy so visible that Shaoni could literally see how it created. It created the unborn baby, as if it was already there. Again, Shaoni looked around. This time, his attention was caught by a middle-aged man. It was obvious that he too was feeling great, except that he wasn't thinking about a baby, but about a car. His car, or to be more precise, the car that he imagined having. It was truly the car of his dreams. He could see himself owning it, his friends admiring it, congratulating him for owning such a wonderful car. He experienced the joy of cruising in it along the open roads. And all of these feelings filled him with joy. The more he thought about the car, the more he filled it with positive feelings, the more the image took shape. Shaoni understood that the man was creating the reality of the car, just as the woman had created the reality of the baby. But just when Shaoni wanted to look away, he saw how the energies of the man changed completely. Suddenly, the man's heart filled with pain. The feelings of joy melted away, and as they did, the image of the car melted too. Suddenly, the car was no more. Worse even, the very image of the car had been replaced by an image of disgust. Clearly, the man didn't want the car. He despised the car. He hated the car. Shaoni looked closer. Had he seen it wrong the first time? Did the man want the car, or did he hate it? Then he saw where the man's attention had been pulled to. He could see how the energies of the man had been redirected towards another man who had just walked into the room. There was hatred and spite in these feelings. The colors darkened. The energies became turbulent, unstructured. Clearly there was no loving feelings here, no creating energy, only anger and a sense of destruction. He looked again, trying to understand. Then he saw how the man who just entered was playing with a set of car keys in his hand. Car keys of exactly the car the other wanted. What the hell? He could see the first man think in anger. How did he... Where did he get the money from to... What the... Raging feelings filled with hatred. Suddenly, Shaoni was struck back. Away went the vibration, and back again in his normal state he was. The wizard was standing beside him, looking at him. What was that? Shaoni asked, as soon as he had explained what he had just lived. What was it that I saw? What you saw were the forces of creation at work, Shaoni. No more, no less. Thoughts and feelings, convictions, beliefs, they all have the power to move the energies, even to create into the material world. And the stronger the images, the more creating energy they set into motion. Yes, but that's just it, Shaoni said. I saw a man who wanted a car, and he wanted it very badly. Or at least, I thought he wanted it. And then another man came in, one with just such a car, and the image disappeared. So how about that? Ah, Shaoni. But that's exactly what most people don't understand about the forces of creation. The energies do not work on an individual level. In the energy world, all is one. The energy doesn't know the difference between wanting something from me and not wanting the same thing for someone else. Think about it, Shaoni. What did the man create as soon as he saw the other man playing with his car keys? He created the image of a car and connected it to a feeling of hatred and disgust. Clearly, on that energy level, he didn't want the car. He wanted not to have that car. The energies registered the message, and the car disappeared. Shaoni tried to recall what he had just seen. Yes, he thought, that is exactly what I saw. Later that evening, when all had gone quiet and a blanket of peace had unfolded over the world, the wizard came up to the boy and said, There is yet another aspect about the law of creation, one that most people often ignore, and yet it is the most important one of all. As you know, Shaoni, your feelings have the power to set the creating energies to work. What most people don't seem to be able to understand, however, is this. The more you fill these feelings with love, the stronger the image gets and the stronger the creation process. That is the big one, Shaoni, and the one I don't want you to just believe. I want you to try it out for yourself. Next time there is something you want to see created, try to fill it with love, all the love you can find in you. The more love you can surround it with, the more love you can put into it, the faster it will get realized.